Hello, you guys. Welcome back to another video slash episode on this podcast slash YouTube channel. Guys, please don't forget that you can see me every single day, not just on YouTube, because I be on Instagram and TikTok talking all day. And I literally remember a couple days ago, like I'm feeling like kind of slow on ideas right now. And I asked for podcast episode recommendations, and one of my OGs recommended this topic, and I was like, perfect. I think I have a lot to say about this, so let's get right on into the topic, the episode. So on this episode, I just life be lifing. I should be talking about life, story times from different parts of my life, relationships a lot, and my reflections on them. Because what relationships are really everything, and I'm not just talking about romantic. I've reflected on my romantic relationships. I've told story times about friendships. I've made podcast episodes on family issues and some of the stuff that can come with that. They're everywhere. If we didn't have relationships, I feel like we would not have food for thought. We would not have chances to grow. We wouldn't have all of that, right? Friendship is such an interesting topic that I feel like we truly don't cover a lot, because I feel like basically all the relationships get harder as you grow up, right? Like when you're super, super little, if you are dating like as a kid, it's not serious. Like, when people said they had a boyfriend when they're 10, was it serious? No, it was not. But when you're younger, these other sex of relationships, normally, not for all, but are typically pretty easy. Like you live with your family, you depend on them. They're second nature. You listen to what they say, you blah blah blah. Like you don't have your own mind yet. And then with friends, it's like you're always in a space to kind of like be around your peers. You go to school, or maybe you go to church, or maybe you play on a team. It's like these things, it's like they're always just kind of there. But when you get older, it seems like the things that used in the relationships that used to come so easy are not so easy all the time. Friendships, man, friendships get tricky and tricky. Like the older you get, one, less time. Okay, less time. You're in school or you're in work and you're in things that like, and then also I feel like the mental load once you graduate high school, there's just so much. There's pressure, there's responsibilities, there's all these things. But the older I get, I am not too afraid to admit, as a 22-year-old girl who graduated high school 5 years ago, five, class of 2020, where y'all at? You okay? You okay? Like, there's been so. I can make a whole episode deep dive into graduating high school, especially the class of 20 that dealt with that COVID. Okay, like, I'm feeling so old. My brother, who is 5 years younger than me, is a senior. Like, he's about to have his high school graduation next year, or like this school year, but mine was 5 years ago. Like that's actually insane. But anyway, as a 22-year-old, I do not really have friends that I feel like I've made post graduation. Like my OGs, the ones I send memes to, I send voice memos to, I mostly make plans with, are majority of people I knew from high school or even before. My best friend, met her in middle school. Other close friends met that, like I have, I think, one from elementary. Like a lot of my friends are like my OGs, and I feel like there's a couple reasons for this. I only did a year and a half of school. I'm a working baddie. Okay, I just did a year and a half of school. It wasn't for me. I wasn't trying to pay all that back. I wasn't trying to pay all that back when I kind of know where my heart is and where I want to go. But the year and a half I did do, yes, normally college, yes, social, you're gonna meet people, you're gonna meet everyone. I didn't have that. It was COVID. It was COVID. I had one in-person class, didn't make friends with anybody. Like the second year, I had one in-person class, didn't make friends with anyone. Did not make friends with anyone. Okay, if you guys don't know, I'm a retired actor model. Like I grew up doing little like commercials and stuff like that, and I kind of re-got back into it when I graduated, being on casting sites. I mean, I've met people from sets, I've met people at jobs, but it's just like I really haven't made any connections post high school. Even like I know we're talking about friendships, but in love either, because none of that shit worked out. That like actually where it's like, oh, they actually became my core people or someone I really vibe with, you know? And I used to be really embarrassed to say that and feel like it's kind of sad because why does it seem like everyone else just moves on and they're outside and they have all these new people and I'm here with like the same girlies and the same people who have known me for a while where it's just like catching up, how's work, how's this, and talking to anyone and I'm like, I feel like that's kind of lame to be like in your 20s, young and turn, and it's kind of just like the same people who have loved you for a while, but that's quite the flex. That's quite the flex. To have people that I don't have to speak into, oh, this is what happened to me and this is why I'm like this. And it's like kind of people who already know me and they've seen my changes and they know me at the core. It's like beautiful to have long-term relationships with people who have loved you and know what you've been through and stuff. Um, but I think thief is just the comparison of joy, where sometimes we compare like people are outside with all these new people they're meeting, or they're blah blah blah, and yeah. Even though I'm still very interested in making new connections, I think one it's kind of hard because I don't have that social aspect of school, meeting people in classes, meeting people at events. I don't have that. I meet people at work or when I go out places, and I feel like I could make a whole nother social shift on like, I swear, the cultural social shift from pre COVID to now, it's just like, even in myself, I was so much more extroverted before COVID, but like I said, we could really get into it, but so yeah, I've met people, but they've either been a little weird or maybe it was like a friendship relationship that was attached to a relationship that I don't with no more, that type of stuff like when you're in a relationship and groups mesh. And I mean, I have a couple of fake friend story times from like the people I thought were my friends in college. So there's that. But I feel like as we get older, friendships dynamics really change because, like I said, less time, more responsibilities, not as easy as I'm going to see her at school tomorrow. I'm going to see her at our next tournament. Like, there's no consistent, it's a constant effort to show up and be there. I feel like as I get older, I realize like friendships are way different than they used to be. How it was always like this girl, this girl, this girl. Because like I said, you're so social when you're constantly in these social settings. But now it's like although I love all my friends, it's like friends kind of like come in categories. Like I know at the end of the day, what matters to me about my friends is like loyalty. I don't want to be friends with no girl who's going to do no weird stuff over a guy who's going to be talking about me, who's going to like we're too grown for that. And I'm like for the most part like I really trust like these people that have loved me for years that I don't necessarily have to worry about that versus like the apprehension I might have if it were a new relationship. But it's just like it's weird how friends change too, right? Like my current best friend, I've been friends with her for like 10 years now. I think since we were like 12. And she was never my best friend, but she was always my close friend, despite we always went to different schools. Because I met her through playing basketball, like for like the kids' team, like the kids' city team. We've always been close. In our adult life, I think again, we would always hang out like every 6 months and just catch up. But there wasn't really like a closeness. It was just like, that's someone I'm always gonna see again. But after I got out of my abusive relationship, I got really close with this girl and we became best friends. Like, even though she had been a close friend, a friend I know I could call and pick up on FaceTime, like, anytime, but she really like became my best friend. Like it's weird how you always have those people, but sometimes the closeness can change. There's also some friends that, like I said, because when you go to school or when you're on a team that we used to be way closer, but now it's more of like I have to make a constant more of an effort to have that closeness and I'm kind of okay with not having it because it's like those friends where it's like at the end of the day that's my like we're always going to talk again, we're always going to see each other again, even if it's in 4 months, even if it's in 6 months. Like I love like I know like some people be hating this term and hating on people like this, but like yo, I'm a low maintenance friend. I'm a low maintenance friend. Like me and my friend could not talk for 2 months, like have an actual conversation, but like we've still been sending memes and commenting on each other's pictures. Like it's never I'm not that person. I'm not gonna lie, y'all. The older I get, I've seen some weird ass girlfriends. friendships where I'm not trying to hate on like anyone who's different than me, but some people, this is what I'm saying, how I feel like you learn where certain people, like my best friend, I know that's my girl I can go to for anything. I can go to her if I'm having a panic attack. I can go to her if I'm trying to go out to the club. I can go to her if I want to go chill at the park or chill at the beach or try some new food. Like that's my girl. We're like on the same page with like damn near everything. There's other friends where it's like she's more the person I call when I want to be outside. Like she might be a little bored with like the type of hangouts I want to do. Or like there's some friends where I'm like, I know they would try to be there for me if I need to talk about my past or something, but like, is it really going to help? Like, do our communication styles really work, or is it kind of just going to go over my head? But I've seen some really weird friendships that were never mine, but where I feel like they low key be expecting like each friend to be everything. Like I know this one person where she said her friend got mad at her because she didn't check in on her while she was on her trip and like asked how it was going. I'm like, to me that's giving like she's your girlfriend. like like my boyfriend better check in if I'm on a trip without him and ask how it's going. But I'm like, I wouldn't get mad at my friend for not like where like it's cool. Like she's probably gonna ask eventually, or we're gonna debrief it when we see each other. But I see some friendships that are like so demanding, where it's like if I don't hear from you at least once a week, you're not my real friend, and we don't see each other. Blah, 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 we're not real friend. That's not really how I operate. I feel like I'm kind of low maintenance in general, even in relationships. How like I've never, maybe I just haven't liked someone that much. But despite how crazy I might seem, I've never been that girl that's like, I want to be with my boyfriend every single day. I don't. Like I said, y'all, the cultural social shift of the world and of me since COVID, I need days to be by myself, especially being a creative. Like I remember I used to date this one dude. My abusive relationship, the one I was with from like 19 to 20, that was probably the man I saw the most, despite when he went to school away. Like I used to be at his house like how half a week, like half the week. I would like work and then I would just spend my free time there. And I feel like I was so like less creative back then. Well, one, because I was being isolated and abused, but also it was just like even though I deeply love that person and you like love your abuser and you still like spending time with the person you're dating, it'll be like I'll be like, okay, I'm gonna stay here 2 nights and then I'm gonna go back home. So like the day before I go back to work, I can have time to like create and make my videos and or like hang out with a friend, like just like I need something outside of like work and you. But he would be the type of person like, why don't you just want to stay a third night? Like you don't have to go back to work to the other day. Like I feel like I always just need my space. I need to recharge. That's something I can also really respect about my friends, like the friends that know too, where it's like if I want to leave somewhere or something, girl, it's not on you. Like they know it's just like Alicia needs she needs to recharge. She needs to reboot. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'll love someone enough who doesn't piss me off and is wonderful and amazing and gives me the space even when we're together to be creative, that maybe I will be excited to be with a man every single day. Because obviously that's going to happen one time because obviously I'm going to get married and then I'm going to have to be in the same house with someone every single day. But yeah, like I spend so much time alone, you guys. Like I feel like what you see on the internet is, well, I mean, I don't post like everywhere I go or like everyone I hang out with, but I feel like for the most part what you see is what you get. Like y'all, on the weekends, on my days off, if I don't have like plans with a friend or don't just tag along with like my dad or my brother for something, I'm inside my room making videos and making videos and and chilling and watching TV and literally on my days off. Like I'm not one of those person that's like I need to always be doing something or go out. Also, I hate driving. Like you trying to have a plan and you want to pick me up, bet. But and I think I've truly been like that for most of my life, despite being a social butterfly. Like I was never bothered if it was like, oh, the whole weekend they don't have plans, like there's no birthday party or whatever. I'll just be in here playing with my toys, playing with my rabbit, you know. Um, but I feel like even more so, like I said, post COVID, I feel like a lot of us have isolated a lot, but especially post being out of an abusive relationship, which now I think I've been out of for about 2 years. Yeah, because I left when I was 20 and I'm 22 years old now. And if y'all know, like when I started this YouTube channel, I was in like the worst place in my life. I started this YouTube channel like a year and a half ago. So I started this YouTube channel probably like 6 months post abuse. I was post abuse. I had like super bad anxiety for the first time in my life. I was depressed. I was unemployed. So I literally had the time to just sit and rot. Like, and that was like for like almost 6 months of my life, I think. And again, let me tell you about friends. Let me tell you about friends. This girl I've known for 10 years, but became my best friend around that time. This is why this girl already knows how I feel about her. Her husband saying vows at her husband or wife saying vows at her wedding. No. Alicia saying vows at her wedding. Yeah. Like I say, when I make my videos, I always just hope to reach an audience because like outlets like this really, really made me feel better during that time, made me feel like, oh shit, like I'm not the only one who feels like this. I'm not the only one who's been in a relationship like this, who's felt abused like this, who feels like this after. Like that's crazy. Because when I'm just by myself so much, and I'm also I feel like guarded with how I feel a lot of the times, like I don't get to hear like, oh, this is not an original experience. Um, but like I said, yeah, that's why I make videos. But I always say it's very important to find someone to talk to, even if it can't be your mom, your dad, your siblings, whatever. Everybody's tripping. A friend, because let me tell you, I do not feel like I would have got through that time without my bitch, my bestie. Um, guys, I literally hate Leos. I'm sorry. Most Leos I meet, I cannot stand. Why is my best friend a Leo and she's the most perfect girl ever? But I swear to God, y'all, almost every Leo I've had a friendship with, I could not stand them. Sincerely, a Scorpio, if that makes any sense. But yeah, because like I said, I wasn't reaching out to any of my friends being like, yeah, unemployed and depressed and lay in the dark all day and I'm always tired and I'm having panic attacks all the time and I'm just starting therapy and yeah. Like all my other friends did not know, like they just assumed, like I don't even know if they knew that I lost my job, like but that girl, she knew everything. And it's like y'all really, I know trauma bonding is used as like a bad term, but like trauma bonding low key, because I remember, if you're a little bit into the astrology like me, like back then, that 2 years ago, it was like a whole eclipse season going on in the fixed signs, which is Scorpio, Taurus, Leo, Aquarius, I think. So me and my girl were being put through the ringer. And we were heavily leaning on each other, guys. In my abusive relationship, unlike post high school, I really didn't ever feel like I had a best friend. Like I feel like I just had like close friends. Like I hadn't had a best friend probably since like high school. I was always like, basically I was kind of just doing my own thing. I had my same friends, but my best friend was normally my partner. Um it's kind of, oh, that's not that's not when your best friend is your abuser and your partner. That's literally how I was. So that's how it was for me at 20 years old, not telling any of my friends what was going on, how my relationship really was, what he was doing to me. Because I didn't really like have a best friend. I felt like he was my best friend. And also, abuse isolates you, so I feel like I didn't talk to my friends that much anyway. So yeah, y'all, I didn't have a best friend for years, especially not a girl, because like I said, when it would basically just be like, my partner is my best friend. Reconnecting with that childhood friend and becoming close was so important to me. Like to have someone where it's like, even with your other friends, they're judged. Like your friends are supposed to be there for you. Like no matter what stance you hold them at, even though, like I said, some friends do better with other conflicts than others. Like at the end of the day, if any of my friends call me in a panic attack, I'm going to try to help them even if they've never done that before, because like what? Like I just care. But I feel like I never felt that way about myself. As like you still have these people even if they don't know what's going on, even if it's a shock that you just need to dump it all on them for them to help you. But I'm always like, nah, like yeah. Literally, I had my first panic attack and flashback from being in an abusive relationship for the first time in so long. My mental health has been so great lately. Like a couple days ago, I literally texted my best friend, like, "Hey, are you up?" Because like again, it's just like the inconvenience. Like even though that's my girl, like I know I could blow up her phone. She responded immediately, but even when she responded, I was like, I literally wanted to say like, never mind, and just deal with it myself. Even though I know so many people could relate. It is just so important to have a friend, especially I feel like women friendships, just knowing you have like community. Like yes, you have, oh my god, like women are just like home. Like women will have you remembering, yes, this feeling is not uncommon, no, you're not crazy, no, like those friendships just feel like such a warm hug. And I hadn't had a close one in so long, not like I said blaming any of my other friends, but also because of me. Like I was just isolated and kind of always used to carrying my own burden. Like I had that girl, was like I was texting her about how I felt that day, and she would be like, "Oh, okay, like we'll just come outside. I'm outside." And I'll be like, "What?" Like I had never had a friend like that. I mean, I'm sure she'd always be like that, but like I said, we met when we were 12, so who was driving when we were 12? Like, and it was just so crazy. Like there's literally, like I said, we need each other. When I say relationships are everything, I mean all types of relationships, community. Like no one can do this alone. And I feel like that's what like going through that time and actually having like a core friend that was there to hear the problems every time, wanted to know how my therapy sessions went, wanted to know like anything I was willing to tell, was so, so helpful and just like such a warm hug. Because like I said, I had just came from a relationship where my abuser was the best friend. Who am I supposed to rant to the abuse about? The abuser? What is he gonna do? Gaslight me and say, "What are you talking about?" And then if I did touch him, like, "Oh, I talked to my dad a little bit or my sister a little bit," it's like, "Why are you sharing our business?" Blah blah blah. If you guys have been in an abusive relationship, you already know how that works. But yeah, that friendship was so healing to me, is so healing to me. And again, also having the privilege of like we got closer as adults, but already knowing that someone who's already loved me for years and seen the changes, whether they were there in close proximity or not, is just so, so special. It's so special. Fangirl video for my bestie. She knows who she is. But yeah, guys, community is so important. I think I touched on this on an episode before, even for me right now. That relationship was like 2 years ago, over 2 years ago, but now I'm 6 months single out of my relationship since then. And even then, like how that relationship, I'm telling y'all, like therapy and like the numbers your mind and your brain develops after going through abuse, I'm like, you cannot trick me. Like literally, like the last terrible man I dealt with, that was what, like a 4 month relationship, y'all. I swear to God, it took me like 2 weeks to get over it. It took me like like 1 week, 1 week no contact, and then I was really just like, yeah, this is the perfect decision. I feel great. I don't gotta deal with that. I ain't gotta worry about someone doing stupid stuff. Like, cool. Like, but the only sadness I really have started to feel is like, one, I felt my time wasted a little bit, because I think a lot of other survivors can relate. It's just like post abuse, I feel like you have like zero hopes for like what's going to be next in love and relationships. But then when like the opportunity arises, you have like high hopes, like I'm never dealing with this and this again, so it has to be this. And like for the last relationship to be like, what the was that, man? That's who I picked. That's who I picked out. Like it kind of felt like, dang, time wasted. Like why did that happen to me? Like it's just kind of annoying when it's just like I try my best to be a light and be open and all these things, and then it was just like another one. Um, that's how I felt going. I was like, didn't miss the person, didn't care what they were doing. And it was just basically that. I just basically came to terms with like, this is actually a better decision. That's crazy. Why they keep trying me like that? But like whatever. And I feel like I would only get sad because I was isolated. Like I was used to having someone to FaceTime all the time, to hang out with, to do stuff with, and now I'm just like again, when I'm by myself, it's really like seeing my friends every once in a while. My bestie I see a lot, but it's just like by myself, work, by myself, work, by myself, work, create. Like that's just the typical thing. But I remember like a couple months out of this relationship, how I said on weekends where it's just like I just do my thing by myself normally. I had like events a couple weekends in a row where I was like that feeling of feeling loneliness because you go from having a close witness to someone to just being by yourself and not having someone to talk to all the time. I felt like so much better. Like I had family events where I had seen cousins I hadn't seen in a long time. We hung out all day. We were in the backyard, fucking freestyling because we were bored. And then like I went out like to the club to celebrate my bestie's graduation. Like I just had like a couple of events where I was just like these past 2 weeks I felt so good because again sometimes we just forget that like we need relationships even if it's not romantic. Like community makes you feel so good and reminds you like yeah I'm not alone even if I'm single. Like I'm not alone. There are people who care about me. There are still things to do. And I will never ever be one of those people that's like, just love yourself. Just pour into other relationships. I know it's not the same. If you're one of those people, I'm coming for you. You know that does not replace it. Can a friendship lay up with me every night and do everything with me and kiki with me and like like no they can't. Like stop trying to act like it's the same. I hate people who try to act like you don't need that. You just need a community. We need both. We need all sex. Unless you're asexual and you don't with that. But most people are interested in love, sexual, platonic, family, and yeah, like we need them all. We need each other. I don't need no one. I don't need no one. We need each other. You need people to lean on. I promise you. And you will find them. But yeah, thank you guys so much for listening to this episode. I don't know if my forehead got shiny the more and more this episode came on because y'all, it is hot in California. Is going on. Like I stated in the last episode, like this president is really pissing me off because it's so hot, and then the weather app is off. Like the weather shows that it's not as hot as it is, but it is, and I'm in here sweating, and I got this cat laying on my lap right now while I'm sweating. I'm in mother mode. Like I gotta end it here before I really break a sweat. But as always, thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to this channel. And I will catch you guys in the next one. Bye.